This is Ben Poole and I'm here doing an interview for rockinterviews.com.
Welcome on rockinterviews.com, Ben.
Thank you for having me.
Where are you from?
I'm living in Brighton in England. I'm from Coventry originally, which is kind of Midlands, UK, and I grew up in Bedfordshire, so I've kind of been moving further down south in England most of my life, and I've been settled in Brighton now for about 9 years.
What or who brings you to music and guitar?
Well, I was always music around the house. My father was a musician, so there was always we had everything around the house, like pianos and keyboards, guitars, ukuleles, flutes, even a saxophone. Kind of a bit of everything, always lying around the house. So it was kind of always inevitable that I was going to end up picking some kind of instrument up, and kind of got into guitar when I was about 9 years old, and and then started kind of having lessons and things at kind of that age, and really got into it when I was about 12 years old, so I've been doing it for a little while now.
And you were a student at the BIMM, Brighton Institute of Modern Music?
That's right, yeah.
Was it easy to get into this school?
I wouldn't say easy, but I got in okay. I auditioned for a few different schools actually. There's another one in Guildford called the ACM, and there's another kind of modern music school in London as well. But I chose the Brighton one just mainly for the location, really. But it was really kind of important sort of part of my sort of musical development was going there for those 3 years, and just kind of helped me focus myself on what I wanted to do, and kind of really. It's kind of that point where it's like, right, we've got to get serious with this now. It's not just the kind of hobby that I do now. This is like serious. I need to. If I'm here for 3 years of my life, and I need to come out of here and actually make a career out of what I'm doing.
And what was the atmosphere in this institute?
It was great. It's like so many different like-minded in some respects, but also everybody was into their own different thing. You got guitar players there that are into their metal music or like country, or they want to become session musicians, or they want to become function players. So it was a cool place to be a bit of a sponge and absorb all these different influences from people, from not only the artists that we were shown by the teachers and things there, but also by my peers, my friends in the classes. It's cool to learn from everybody. It's a really great experience.
I can see a nice tattoo on your arm. What song is it?
It's Voodoo Child, Jimi Hendrix. It's kind of the song that got me into guitar properly when I was about 12. When I heard that song, that was kind of one of those points for me where I was really kind of changed my outlook on the guitar and kind of what I wanted to do. Kind of really, there's something really exciting about that song. That was the reason I started playing electric guitar, because up until that point I just played acoustic.
What kind of guitar or gear do you use? Do you play with?
I've got mainly Telecasters. I've got a few Telecasters. I always play a Les Paul, which I've had for a long time, and I'm using Hamstead amps, who I've been endorsed by for the last couple of years now. Really great amps, as well as I've got an old 1974 Fender Pro Reverb, which is a beautiful sounding amp, which I bought off a friend of mine called Ainsley Lister. I've got a few little bits of gear. I'm not a massive gear nerd or anything like that, really. I'm always going to my friends for help with like technical things, but I just like to plug in and play and hope everything works.
Let's speak about your albums. There is a Live at the Royal Albert Hall.
Yeah. So this is the first album that came out when I signed to the record label that I'm on, called Manhattan Records. The plan initially, when I first signed to them, was to get straight in the studio and do a studio album. But I'd played the Albert Hall maybe 6 months prior to me signing the deal, and they started playing some of the songs that the BBC had recorded. They started playing them on the radio, and they sounded really cool. So I asked if I could get hold of the whole sort of performance. It sounded great. So with my record label, we decided that we'd put it out. Kind of a sort of taster of what I do, really. It's kind of a bit different to put out a live album as my first proper professionally released album, but it was kind of helped get a bit of attention and a bit of momentum before we then recorded my proper full length studio debut on a label.
And there is another one called Time Has Come.
Yeah, so this is the album I'm talking about. So this is what we waited for longer than we'd planned to get around to doing. But I'm glad we waited as long as we did, because I think in those couple of years I've kind of really developed as an artist, not only as a guitar player but as a singer and a songwriter. And yeah, I think the results are. I'm very, very happy with the album. Like, we worked very hard on it, and I'm glad we waited and spent all that time making sure it was really right, you know. And the reviews have been amazing, so I can't complain about that.
Why this title?
It's kind of a play on one of the songs. There's a song that I wrote on there with a friend of mine called Time Might Never Come, which is we've been playing for the last few years live, and it's always been a kind of a crowd favourite. It's inspired by kind of the atmosphere of it is inspired by Gary Moore, who's I'm a big massive fan of Gary Moore's, and had the pleasure of getting to meet him and play with him like not long before he died, and kind of just he's always been a massive inspiration, and then even more of an inspiration when I got to hang out with him, and he gave me great advice. So it's kind of inspired, not lyrically or anything like that, but it's just more the atmosphere of the song and the kind of vibe. So that song was called Time Might Never Come, and it's kind of a play on that, and kind of, I guess, kind of an optimistic. I hope that the time has come for me to take that kind of next step up, which seems to be happening since the release of it, because it's been really well received, and the shows have been getting busier and been getting bigger shows and playing more places. So yeah, it's been a good year since it's come out.
And the lyrics talk about.
It's more of a kind of love relationship kind of thing lyrically, which I think quite a lot of my songs are kind of around that kind of thing. For better or worse, it's just you can only write what comes from here, so and that's just what seems to come out. It's quite easy to write about that kind of thing.
So tonight you are at the Grosse Guitare Festival in France. Could you please introduce your bandmates?
Yeah, so I've got Ben Matthews on drums. He's come in and out in my band for the last year, I think. We did a big tour of Spain last year, which is the first tour I took him on, and he lives in Brighton as well, so it's great. We're really good mates. So it's been a lot of fun with him. I've got a guy called Joe Mack on keys, who I met when I played in Poland. We met about 3 years ago. And we just hit it off. I really liked him musically as well as a person. We hung out a lot, and he shared a love of whiskey as well with me. So I remember just being at the bar with him like all night, just chatting about music. We had the same tastes, the same kind of personality. So we'd been in touch for maybe a year and a half, maybe 2 years. About one day we're going to play together one day, and then at some point I gave him a call, and he came in and did a few shows, and now he's here doing this whole kind of. Okay, so then I've got a guy called Bo Barnard on bass, who's the newest guy in the fold. So he's one of his first shows with me actually, but he's a great bass player. Knows the set inside out. Very professional musician. Sounds great, looks great. Yeah, so it's a nice lineup. I'm really happy. We're having a lot of fun already. This is only the gig 2 of 32, so we're kind of still early days yet. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun so far on the stage and off.
So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Enjoy the gig tonight. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you very much.